Welcome! Today we're counting down our picks for the best dirt bike games that you should check out. And without further ado, let's dive right in. MX Simulator. Now, this game is praised as one of the most hardcore MX simulator games out there, if not the most, and as you can see, the graphics aren't the best since this game came out in 2007 and have pretty much remained the same. But of course, the strength of this game isn't in its visuals, but in its physics accuracy and the community of hardcore MX Sim players. And I get it, some people are debating whether MX Sim is better than MX bikes, but who cares, just play the one you like. It's that simple. Dirt Bike Insanity. If the previous game was meant for hardcore players, this one is aimed at the most casual gamers out there, or maybe little kids really. Just see it for yourself. This one isn't meant to simulate anything. It's just the kind of game you play when you're really bored and want to do some simple dirt biking. Obviously, don't get this one if you're planning to play it for the long term. But if you have little kids and a Switch, perhaps you could introduce them to dirt bike games with this one. Offroad racing, Buggy x ATV x Moto. So far, this game is the best stand-in I've found for the epic MotorStorm franchise. Now, it's not exactly the same. There's more emphasis on jumping, pulling off tricks, and timing your turbo boosts. However, the key thing here is that this game is just plain fun. It's got that addictive one more race feel that MotorStorm had. I'm still on the lookout for that perfect modern clone of the PS3 arcade racing legend, but for now, this game is a solid runner-up with its own unique spin on the gameplay. MX vs ATV Supercross. This game, in my opinion, has gotten way more hate than it deserves. Sure, it's often compared to Reflex, and yeah, Reflex was a fantastic game. However, the goal here was to create a Supercross game that gives you the thrill of realistic racing while still being forgiving enough for newer players. Make a small mistake? No biggie, you're still in the race. Bottom line, if you want a Supercross game that requires skill and some know-how about the sport but doesn't beat you down with simulator level difficulty, you're gonna enjoy this one. MX vs ATV All Out. First off, if you want something super realistic, go play MX Simulator. But if you're into dirt bikes or even those clunky four-wheelers that always get in the way, you're gonna love it. And to the "it's not Reflex" crowd, well, chill out, bro. Moreover, there's a bit of a learning curve, as in most racing games, but once you get the hang of it, you'll be flying. The open world is also fantastic for just riding around and finding tracks. So, whether you're zoning out and riding around or pushing for the fastest lap times, this game has got you covered. MX vs ATV Legends. This game is definitely a step up from before, but let's keep it real, it's far from perfect, at least to the Reflex is the best bros. Speaking of which, they've updated the whips and tweaked some physics, but there's still work to be done. The grip and berms and the whoop physics? Yeah, they need some serious attention. And obviously, whether this game is good or not is totally subjective, so if you're in it for the simple and fun dirt biking experience or just love the series, give it a go, 'cause you'll like it. Urban Trial Freestyle. Trial games differ from your typical dirt bike games. They're not racing games, but rather physics-based side-scrolling games that feature dirt bikes. So, skip this one if you're looking for a traditional racing experience. And as for this game, the gameplay itself is solid. The bike physics are surprisingly good for a budget title, especially since your upgrades visibly affect how your bike handles. Not only that, mastering these physics also adds depth, which makes the stunts more satisfying. Moreover, there's replay value in unlocking everything or chasing personal bests, so if you're into that, you're good. Moto Racer 4. Sure, this game is not realistic enough for some, but hey, Moto Racer was never about realism. It's all about that over-the-top rally-style action. A lot of the critics weren't even around for the originals. They're too young. If you loved the original Moto Racer games, this is your spiritual revisit. It's fast, it's gorgeous, and it's low on setup time. Perfect for a quick grab-and-go racing fix. And while it might not be a AAA title, it still looks great and runs at breakneck speeds. Plus, it's a blast to play against a friend. Dakar 18. Modeled after the legendary annual rally raid by a Maori sport organization in South America, this game offers a hardcore, true-to-life simulation of the world's biggest cross-country rally. However, the simulation focuses on the racing aspect, not the vehicle physics, so remember that. Anyway, with a lineup that includes motorcycles, cars, trucks, quads, and UTVs, you're in for some intense online multiplayer showdowns and offline races. Now you can finally know what it's like to ride a bike in the middle of a desert, all while sitting comfortably in your basement. TrackDayR. If you're into bike sims, you might want to check this one out. It aims to be a complete motorcycle simulator, allowing you to ride every type of motorbike. Not only that, the concept of being able to mod in any motorcycle and every track is also super appealing. The developers are active and consistently rolling out updates, and you can genuinely feel the improvements with each one. So, if you're into the modding scene and love a good project, give this one a try. Just keep in mind it's a work in progress, but the potential is huge.
Keep it on!
MX Nitro. This game delivers simple and exhilarating excite-bike-style action in stunning 3D graphics. It's all about the thrill of revving up, balancing your bike mid-air, and pulling off epic stunts to earn credits and maintain your lead. Moreover, customization options for helmets, gear, and bikes also allow you to personalize your rider, adding to the fun. And one of the highlights is the enjoyable commentary, especially during head-to-head events where opponents taunt you, which adds a lively touch to the competitive atmosphere. Overall, this game is a fantastic time killer that's perfect for unwinding and clearing your mind. The Crew 2. Now this is one of the best games when it comes to open world driving, or in this case, riding. That's right, cruising around the beautiful world while riding the virtual versions of bikes you cannot afford in real life feels so good in this game. And although it has a racing element, the game's popularity is boosted by many YouTubers showcasing their PCs producing gameplay in maximum graphics. So, if you value stunning graphics and enjoy cruising around in an open world setting on your favorite dirt bikes, check out this game. Dakar Desert Rally. This game is a bit of a wild ride and definitely not your typical stage rally experience. The simulation is in the navigation and orientation aspect, not the driving or riding. In arcade mode, the game is heavily assisted with mass starts, which means a lot of AI cars and bikes to bump into. It's chaotic but fun if you like that sort of thing. Pro mode, on the other hand, gives you a staggered start and is closer to the real Dakar experience. Here, understanding the roadbooks is crucial, so start learning them. MX versus ATV Unleashed. For PC gamers, I can confidently say that this game is worth trying out, despite its age and outdated visuals. The track builder, while not the most robust, is a blast to tinker with and offers hours of creative fun. Just watch out for compatibility quirks with certain graphics cards, though the overall PC port stability is decent. The tracks themselves are where this game truly shines. Each one bursts with creativity and keeps things fresh and exciting. So if you're old or have no problem playing old games, check this one out. MXGP Pro. With this game, I strongly recommend investing time in the training mode. It not only helps you get comfortable with the controls, but also offers passive skill bonuses that prove invaluable as you progress. And transitioning from other games will require some adjustment due to the different handling dynamics, especially since this game is less forgiving when it comes to overjumping, casing, oversteering, or pushing too hard on the throttle out of corners. Overall, the game is good, but it definitely rewards players who invest time in improving their skills. Monster Energy Supercross, the official Videogame 6. In this version, they've beefed up the bikes, making them stick better to the track, which adds a touch of realism. However, there's a bit of a dilemma with scrubbing or whipping. It's hit or miss, literally. And let's be honest, sometimes the physics can be wonky, sending you flying off your bike for reasons that defy logic. But here's the deal, crank up that AI, turn off those assists, and suddenly the game shines. The bikes will handle realistically, allowing you to find that sweet flow you've been craving since the old days. MX versus ATV Reflex. Reflex was the GOAT back in the day, but let's face it, if you're picking it up now for the first time, you might not feel the same magic. Nostalgia can really color our memories of older games compared to what's out there now. Games have come a long way in terms of graphics, mechanics, and overall polish since Reflex first hit the scene. That said, if you can appreciate it for what it was, it's still an amazing game. But if you're new to it, manage those expectations and remember, it's a product of its time. MXGP 2021. This title sticks to the familiar gameplay mechanics of its predecessors while making improvements over the previous installment. Compared to MXGP 2020, the handling is noticeably smoother and less finicky, similar to MXGP 2019. This might not sound like a huge change, but it definitely enhances the overall racing experience, particularly for those who have been with the series for a while. Overall, while it doesn't reinvent the wheel, it brings incremental improvements and delivers a polished experience for motocross racing enthusiasts. So, if you're a fan of the series, you'll likely appreciate these refinements. The Crew Motorfest. Motorfest may not be a proper dirt bike game, but it's great for just riding dirt bikes or any other bikes and exploring the world. And if you're okay with that, then this is the game for you. And while its map may lack the scale and variety of its predecessors, it makes up for it with a lot of other things, like vehicles variety and exceptional graphics. Overall, if you're into a racing game that can also serve as just a casual bike game located in a beautifully created world, then this game might be worth checking out. ONRUSH. There's been a noticeable shift towards simulation-focused racing games in recent years, leaving a gap for high-energy arcade-style racers that deliver pure adrenaline and crazy action. Just see it yourself, arcade games are now branded as low-quality cash grabs by basement dwellers that only knows about vehicle physics from video games. Some even believe that only real men play hardcore sims, but we don't care about that, right? Anyway, ONRUSH was famous for its online multiplayer modes, but now that the servers are dead, we can only enjoy the offline modes. But it's okay, it's still fun. MXGP 3, the official motocross video game. This one is like the peak of the MXGP series, straddling that line between realism and accessibility. Simply put, it's not just good, it's a huge leap in the right direction. It nails that sweet spot between simulation and arcade, and boy, does it look gorgeous. The rider animations feel realistic, AI takes different lines, and you can actually feel those track ruts they carve out. Plus, you've got way more control over those whips and scrubs. When, how much, how long, it's all in your hands. It's easily one of the most fun motocross games yet.
Let's have fun today.
Trials Fusion. This isn't your usual race to the finish kind of game, it's all about platforming on a motocross. You're not just aiming for speed, you've got obstacles to conquer. Thus, mastering the lean forward or backward physics while accelerating and braking is key. With this game, the controls are simple, but precision is the name of the game here. From ramps to canyons, it's like solving platforming puzzles with every jump. And let me tell you, it's no Mario Kart. The difficulty spikes quickly. So, if you want those golds, you'll need flawless runs, meaning no crashes and achieving under par times. MX Bikes. This game stands out as a realistic motocross simulator by boasting a meticulously crafted physics engine that faithfully replicates motorcycle dynamics and setup choices. And for a lot of people, it's more accessible compared to MX Sim, and being available on Steam makes it easier to get. However, it's important to note that MX Bikes lacks both AI opponents and a career mode. It's an online-only racing experience, but in a good way. Oh, and one more thing. For those new to this game, expect some frustration before you fully enjoy it. Trials Rising. Like the other Trials games on this list, this one is a side-scrolling physics platformer where you control trial bikes and various dirt bikes. And while it may not replicate the feeling of riding a real bike, it excels in introducing some of the coolest levels and an improved tutorial system for mastering difficult techniques. However, the wide variety of tracks is hindered by some odd design choices that can be discouraging. Still, the satisfaction of striving for better medals will keep you coming back for more attempts at reaching the finish line. Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, before you start typing mean comments, let me tell you that this list isn't in any particular order. Obviously, GTA 5 isn't the best dirt bike game of all time, but it sure is one of the most fun games where we can ride dirt bikes. In this game, we can do various activities like races and stunts, missions that involve dirt bikes, or simply ride across the vast world. Add some graphics and vehicle mods, and you'll be stuck in its world doing cool stunts you'll never be able to do in real life.
Matter of having to jump a moving train.
So do you agree with our picks? Check out these other videos from us and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
You lost your manual flight control system? Pull your flaps.